Hey everyone, it's Matilda.
And Packbat. Sorry.
I was just about to say and then leave a space, but yeah, Matilda and Packbat. So today I will be doing Gris, Gris. I don't know if that's an acronym for something, but it's a very pretty looking game about. Hold on, let me just quote the. Gris is a hopeful young girl lost in her own world, dealing with a painful experience in her life. Her journey through sorrow is manifested in her dress, which grants new abilities to better navigate her faded reality. As the story unfolds, Gris will grow emotionally and see her world in a different way, revealing new paths to explore using her new abilities. Gris is a serene and evocative experience, free of danger, frustration, or death. Players will explore a meticulously designed world brought to life with delicate art, detailed animation, and an elegant original score. Through the game, light puzzles, platforming sequences, and optional skill-based challenges will reveal themselves as more Gris' worlds become accessible. Gris is experienced with almost no text, only simple control reminders illustrated for universal icons. The game can be enjoyed by anyone, regardless of their spoken language. So, I mean, that particular bit at the end, the game can be enjoyed by anyone, regardless of their spoken language. I am very interested to see how that works.
Yeah, it's a tricky challenge. I
Partic-
mean, sorry, go on.
yeah, I mean, it's one that I think games are not uniquely suited, but they're one of the better suited mediums for it.
Yeah, you have a lot of I mean, a lot of the things which are relatively easy to parse by someone who doesn't speak the language are things like pictures, which games are kind of built around a lot of the time is and visual representation, auditory sound effects, and music. These things are culture dependent, but they're easier to interpret from outside a culture than text.
Yeah, and
And
I
you have feedback in games.
yeah. So
Like you can poke it and see what it does and
yeah,
develop an understanding that way.
so I'm interested to see how this works, and um, to be honest, part of what drew my eye to it is that I've not been in a good place recently with like my mental health. Um, so I've been having quite a few problems with depression and stuff like that, and currently I'm in one of those weird moods where I can remember my emotional responses and I can remember like how I react with them, but I'm not getting them. Like I'm having to reverse engineer my own emotions, which sounds
Hmm.
which is tiring, and a game filled with pastel colors where there's no conflict actually sounds like it could be nice right now.
Yeah.
Okay, hi then. Let's get started. Just one thing, I can't see the chat. Because
And I'm on the stream delay.
yeah, actually, hold on. No. Okay, never mind.
Yeah. But I'll be passing along information from the chat as best as I can.
Yeah.
And if I am reacting to stuff late, it's because I see it late.
Okay. Let's get started. Um, I think it's actually got a bit too loud for me to hear you talk, so
Oh,
once the cutscene is over, I might have to turn the sound down.
gotcha.
I feel like I should be pressing buttons here.
Yeah, this looks like it is the end of the cutscene, and this is in like idle animation. Do you want to adjust the game volume, the volume mix?
Yeah. Okay.
All right. Let us know if it's better, Hood. And Hood also points out that the art style shift implies that we're in the game.
Yeah.
Um,
Okay. I think space makes me fall over.
okay.
A and D are forwards and backwards.
Okay. Hood says it's the volume. Discord volume is closer to stream mic volume at least.
Cool.
Also bets that space becomes something else once you get a little further. So the thing I was gonna say while the cutscene was playing is, I remember seeing a GDC talk about crediting the creators of games, and so like that's a thing that's been a little more on my attention recently is how we credit the people who create the game. And based on what you told me about the game, like the blurb and stuff, it it seems like it was probably a very intentional decision to credit the creative director first in
Yeah.
the opening credits of this game, like saying this is the starting point is this creative director's vision.
Okay, I've perked myself up a bit.
Oh, good.
And we are... I can now run, and space is now jump.
Aha!
Which lets me overcome that obstacle.
So it does. Oh. I see there's another statue, crumbled statue of a person.
Yeah.
It looks like the protagonist a little bit. Maybe. Could be someone else, but...
So, what I'm kind of reading so far is the statue initially was like someone who was essentially her whole support. Like, you know, being held in my hand. And so my current impression is that we are dealing with the death of like a caretaker, someone who had looked after Gris.
Could be, yeah.
And it's her picking herself up after that.
It's definitely her picking herself up after some event, some shattering event, change of the world around her.
Yeah.
So it could be the death of the caretaker for sure.
I will say, like, the fluidity of the run and the jump, like, this is an incredibly fun game on like a input level, if you get what I mean.
Yeah, game feel.
Yeah,
Yeah, the animation looks super fluid from out here too.
yeah.
Who suggests loss of her own self-image is another possible interpretation.
Hmm.
This makes me think of like a breaching whale. This rock with a Kirby shape behind it.
I don't know if...
I'm guessing that they will find a way to return.
Yeah, I'm also guessing we'll find a way to interact with like those moving blocks.
Probably, yeah. I guess that moving triangle there.
I mean, both the rectangle and the triangle back there were moving.
Yeah. Okay. Could be, yeah. Who suggests the finale might be coming back to that statue or somehow parallel with it?
I think another thing that I'm guessing is all the kind of concrete structures are in ruins, and there's a lot of abstract things almost growing out of them, like the black. Like...
Who says, yeah, the black squiggles are breaking apart the old world.
Yeah. I have a little glowing friend.
Hello, friend. Friend seems to move in little short segments, like a line tracing out a constellation. I don't know if that's... Yeah. Yeah, Hood, a very odd sort of way.
Some more of these moving blocks. Hello, block friends.
Ooh.
Ah, we have another friend.
Ah.
And a cutscene.
Oh. There are like 3 points? So maybe a third friend will connect it into a constellation. Yeah, yeah, that's... Hood says that's a line to be drawn. They are bits of a constellation.
I thought I could jump on that.
That looks... The flying thing in the background looks very pretty. This is... Like, this has a bit of a feel of, like, a animated movie. Like, I want to say, like... I don't know animation traditions, but... Hello! New person in voice?
Hello?
Yeah, this is Hood. I figured if I'm going to be interacting in real time, I might as well, not have the screen delay.
Fair enough. I mean, I guess you don't have the doubled stream delay, because if we're watching the stream, we still have a single stream lag.
Yeah, pretty much.
But yeah, hi.
So as you came on, Hood, I found a third friend. But
Oh,
hi,
yeah.
Hood. So yeah. So yeah, these things, they're definitely like tracing out the lines and creating these things that you can walk upon. It's a really kind of neat mechanic.
Yeah.
And I like how they implied it with the way they're moving in the after image.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Found a ruined hand.
Yeah.
Oh.
Oh.
I think like as we move on and around, like we can add color to this black and white landscape.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
That's super artsy.
Yeah, that was a very good sequence, but also, like, I'm pretty sure that's not a good thing that just happened, or at the very least, even if it's a step in the right direction, it is not a pain-free.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That. Yeah.
Like the first colors that appeared were the blood red splotches.
Yeah.
And the fingers of this statue are all dyed red.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it feels to me sort of like, there was shock at the collapse of the start, then coming to terms with the ruin, and now, oh god, it hurts so fucking much.
Makes sense.
I might even go for it. Like the sky looks angry now,
Or at the very least, wounded.
Yeah.
I think I'm leaning towards the wounded thing because like the drops looked like drops of colored liquids soaking into paper. Like that looks like watercolors.
And the red's getting more and more saturated as we go up into this. Oh, little flowers.
Yeah.
Okay, that's a puzzle hint.
I'll also notice that now that we're in the red, there's a lot more stuff in the landscape. Like before, it was just white with the weird abstract black breaking through it. Now there's little bits of red.
Yeah. There was a tower up here, I think is what the picture was saying. Oh! There's a constellation to be formed up there.
That was kind of a awkwardly structured camera pan, yeah.
A little bit, yeah.
This almost feels like a level hub.
Maybe.
Yeah, like... So one of the things about games is that there's a load of kind of conventions that games use, like, and that we think about. Ooh, that's a bell. So one of the things that I'm always interested in when I encounter games like this is how much of what I'm reading into it is intended by the creators, and how much of it is because I have been trained by games to think this way.
How much?
Yeah.
How much of the game? How much of the game is based on the creators having been trained by games to think in a way?
Yeah.
Yeah, one thing I'm definitely noticing in this that's related to that is how what's a platform and how you collide with platforms is very interesting in this.
Mm.
And we're leaving the old behind to go into some very cool looking. Like I'm getting real Journey vibes from this bit.
It's definitely stylized in a way that like really dives into that kind of.
Yeah, it's stylized in that way that almost makes it feel more real.
Yeah. All right, so we came to the ruins and something we couldn't deal with, and then we slid down into something.
Down
Through
this
some
kind of
dark
red
back into the
waterfall.
Yeah.
And that little sunlight circle thing, like I don't know if that's convention saying it's dark or just I don't know. It'll probably
It
become
makes
clear.
me think of sunset. Like, I don't know. I feel like there's a cinematic convention of you have the person walking along the bridge with the sun behind the bridge framing them.
Oh yeah, absolutely. It's just the way that it's climbing with us that's not wrong, but unusual. And yet here's more of that. What is? Yep, go ahead.
That's not how usually people show the sun in that kind of image. Oh, hey, title drop.
Don't know where we're going, but we're starting off. And it's continuing to play with what is and is not a platform and how you walk through it.
Hmm.
I love that little twirl that she does right before landing.
This game has a lot of falling in it.
Yeah.
Well, that was a checkpoint or a collectible or something.
Like, it's quite funny, because I usually find games that don't explain themselves very annoying, but there I'm just like, I've done something, but I'm completely fine with moving on without seeing what it is.
Yeah, it's clearly influencing something. Oh, hey, so we've gone from the rolling hills of ruined architecture land to some very foreboding and impressive mountains. And some hovering rocks. Can't go wrong with that. Kind of gives the whole place a upheaval feel. Something major has changed here.
Yeah.
So, what this, like, big kind of tree structure reminds me of, I don't know if the stream's caught up yet, but it looks like a kind of genetic tree diagram, like, you know, kind of
Yeah, like the tree of life.
Yeah, a taxonomic tree.
Yeah, definitely. Which would support that loss of a caretaker angle, potentially.
Possibly, yeah. I think, like, I'm just gonna venture a guess. Like, the art style of this game communicates, like, a certain kind of attitude. Like, ambiguity in games is usually feels like the designers either failed to tell you something or withholding something. But I think this game is communicating that it's not clear. Like, you're not expected to understand what's going on here. Like, you're not...
Like, the confusion is diegetic.
Yeah. And, I mean, that is very much a recovery experience, is part of it is figuring out what you're feeling.
Yeah, awesome. And the sudden kind of bursts of wind
Oh wow, that roll
Just
animation when she gets
bursts of
blown
wind
over,
and
that is
stone.
incredible.
There's some really great animation in this.
Yeah.
And just the fact that the gust of wind is like an ink or smoke cloud. I will say I am a big fan of how they introduced this concept, because we went from just floaty rocks to and basically bare thing, then tree elements, and then a couple obviously artificial elements, and it's these are the indicators for the wind mechanic.
Yeah.
And then a very if you were just walking forward without paying attention to them, you would get blown back into the shelter, which you'd be like, oh okay, there's a shelter here.
Yeah.
I will say, just while we're going on it, Gris is actually currently available on Steam for like 50% off. Like that's why I picked it up. So if anyone is interested, now's actually a pretty good time to, grab it and have a look.
Yep, the weekend sale. And another slide down. It seems to be the marks of major progress through these little sliding sections. And now we're into advanced wind mechanics.
I kind of want to fall and see what happens. Okay, I'm just on the ground. I need a second friend. Because I have a friend that I found. But I need a second one to make that gap. A second one that I just found.
I noticed that the color in the background, the extra saturation does not make it brighter, it makes it darker.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think it is leaning into this look of like watercolor paintings. Because, I mean, that's what happens if you're adding pigment. The more pigment you add, the darker everything gets.
Yeah, definitely. Because it's that the smoke is almost, I don't know, when I see that, I'm not so much seeing smoke as I'm seeing like ink in water.
Yeah. It had, yeah. I mean, like from a physics perspective, those are related, but also like because there's so much watercolor kind of everywhere else, it has, that feeling of.
So YouTube probably can't hear this because you're with stream muted. But when the wind blows, there's like a really dramatic kind of very fast-paced piano line.
Cool.
Oh wow, this is a giant version of the. This is a giant version of the little things that I've been encountering.
Oh, our building friend is on the move.
Yeah.
I also liked in that segment that it was the you could not necessarily get from shelter to shelter before the wind started, but you could get there before it pushed you.
Yeah.
All the way.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's a real sense of not, I wouldn't say helplessness, but like you can't get through this cleanly.
There's also a sense of like the thing about the constant falling and stuff is that it very much makes you feel like you can't go back. Like you just have to keep on pushing forward.
Yeah, the first zone made it sort of feel like it was going to be an exploration puzzle type game, but yeah, each of these segments has very, very clear like you cannot turn around, you must press on.
Yeah.
Yeah. You might want to go back and look at the past, but all you can do is remember it.
And
watch as we say this, and then later on in the game we get taken back.
Oh, I mean, we totally might, which would even still fit thematically. And oh, hey, the sun's back, or rather, the sun was always there, but now the red blotches have evened out enough that we can see it's there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, that's another thing. I've noticed that the red hasn't gone away. It's just no longer in the violent, rough blotches. Ooh, The artificial structures are a little messed up here. Sort of seems like the place where you get your first like platforming power up if different movement types would be a major component.
Just as you said that.
I think they did imply that different movement types are a major component. What?
My dress can now become a block.
Oh! Oh, go back. To the left. Because there was a crumbled platform above the friends back there, the constellation friends.
Oh yeah, where you were trying to go down through that platform because it seemed like you should be able to.
Sorry, I'm
also, I am so happy that I recognize the telegraphing.
Bonk!
Go ahead.
It's really deeply connected to a lot of game conventions. Like, that's a big part of what...
Haha, I can move... Sorry, I just found I can move in the wind with my block dress.
Ha! Nice. Because it's really heavy and keeps you planted.
Yeah.
Yep. Nice. That's... I don't know. I like that that's the first power-up, number one, and I just like how that looks.
Yeah.
Particularly with, like... It feels like it makes a lot of sense with how much the game has been focusing on, like, falling. Like, making yourself heavy and strong and able to push forward.
Yeah, anchoring yourself.
Yeah.
I also like how uncomfortable it looks.
Yeah. Yeah, like, it's... I think this is in part a response to, like, game conventions, because, like, this is something where normally you get something that makes you feel freer, and this doesn't feel freer, even as it helps you move.
Yeah.
It's more like a defensive thing, and hey, check out those statues of grief.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh. She's getting more and more pulled into the pillars.
Oh.
Yep. Withdrawing into either being pulled down by the grief or withdrawing into herself.
And again, we have this theme of, like, support.
Yeah.
I feel like you're trying to explore more than they want you to right now.
I feel like I should have explored a bit to the right before I did this. Oh well. Whee!
Oh, glad they had the bells there for the to add some extra what, feedback?
Yeah, I mean, it created more of an atmosphere. And now we're in the darkness.
We go down.
You just gotta keep falling.
I guess so, yeah.
I like that. I will say it was
wow.
was a little awkward from a gameplay perspective, but the having you have to fall again was an excellent feel thing. And this place is gorgeous.
Yeah.
And I'm getting I'm sort of feeling an external versus internal vibe here. Because inside...
Shall I? That was completely unneeded, and now I feel bad. I didn't...
But you proved you could.
I proved I could, and...
Yeah.
I'm so used to games going, here, break this thing, that I just went, this feels like I should break it. And then I did, and nothing happened, other than me going, I just broke a very pretty thing. I just broke a statue of a woman grieving.
The little motes that are flying around that show up every time you stomp are very, I don't know. They're interesting. They provide a good bit of noise for that bottom void, but they're also kind of uncomfortable.
Given what's just happened on my screen.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I'm betting something happens if you summon enough of them. Alright, break out of that, gotta go back. Just because you want to wallow doesn't mean you can.
Whatever it is that was underneath came out and up into the open.
Yeah, I almost feel like that was the we're going left. What? Almost feel like that if my take on that little visual metaphor was right, the stuff inside it doesn't just stay inside. That's just not how it works.
Yeah.
That was a cool little fan mechanical.
Yeah, it's pretty.
Got some nice geometric staircases here, very artsy.
I feel like that fan.
There's something up on the top of that. Sorry. Go ahead.
Sorry. I feel like that fan, like, it was partly, like, revealing, like, this whole area seems to be, well, like, it adds to that feeling of, you know, things coming out. You know, you have the wind that you can't stop.
It's more, another bit of it revealed, and also I'm noting that this is number one, a lot more technical from a platforming perspective, and number two, that this is very like effort intensive climbing.
Yeah.
Like before, you could fall and walk by just holding the button, but here you have to, you know, jump, 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 jump.
It's always easier to fall than it is to get back up than to climb back up.
And notice all the mechanical motion here. Number one, again, bells, love that they're still here. The mechanical motion is always in that ratcheting, progressive motion.
It's not.
There's glowy. I wonder what that glowy in the dark is. Oh, now you can jump on the block, friends. Out of curiosity, how far behind am I from the actual stream?
Not as far as you could be, but like not. You're not. Like you're far enough behind that I notice. If you get what I mean?
Yeah, that makes sense.
I think this game is also sedate enough in its pacing that you can kind of keep up.
Yeah.
Yeah, this feels like that almost felt like a choice, even though I don't think you had enough to go right.
Yeah.
No. I will admit, like, I don't have the urge to play this like I would most platformers. Like, I'm not playing this as I would a Mario game. You know, I'm playing this basically by my instincts of what is this character doing.
You are playing a role. I think this tower's a thing to let you get up if you fall, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing. That was like, it seems like it's.
Yeah. Okay. I think you can maybe climb
Wait, it's a
further up on
seesaw.
the diagonal supports, maybe?
Yeah, it's a seesaw. Try blocking the add the weight.
Oh, oh, oh.
Nicely. Oh.
I also noticed that with the extra weight, it's no longer going back. Like, it's off balance enough that it's just staying that way.
Although it
did wobble slightly.
so I think you can bring it back, or at least bring it the other direction.
Yeah, and then there's this pole stopping it from going entirely back. But this does mean I can jump up here.
Yes.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I wonder if this is like a exploration reward, or if this was an intended.
I gotta think this was intended.
Yeah. Everything in this game feels very intentional.
Yeah. Like it is this kind of exquisitely built thing.
And it's very like, it's noticeably emptier than. I think you gotta land on the very top. Than your standard platformer, or at least it's visually much emptier. Like the open space is very open. That feels deliberate, and that makes the placed things feel more deliberate. Words are hard.
Yeah.
That makes sense. Like economy in I think what you need to do is grab the rafter and use that to get up to the very top of the.
Yeah, there's a glowy.
Yeah.
I do wonder what purpose those serve, or whether they're a in-world element or are a gamey like achievement element.
I would be surprised if this game had in-world elements that were gamey, had elements that were the gamey achievement thing. Like as an artistic decision, I think it would be counter to the spirit of the game to like have things where it's like, here's the best way that you can
Here's a challenge.
deal with this experience.
Yeah.
That's fair. Also, I noticed we've got a little red constellation thingy in the background there. That's like kind of uncomfortable, to be honest.
Oh, it's.
Oh.
Oh, hello, birds. Or little shard bird things.
I thought they feel like butterflies to me.
Oh, could be.
You know what? Yeah, with the way they flap and fly, that's definitely fair.
Particularly with the, this theme of the rock insects and stuff.
Yeah. I also noticed that you're having to break apart the old to continue to move forward instead of just adapting to what's there. We're at the destructive phase of the process.
I am thinking about how, sorry, how like when something changes, part of surviving that is getting used to living in a world where that's not a thing you have access to. Like, sorry, like changing how you live because there's nothing there to fill that gap anymore. The thing you were relying on isn't there anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah. Also, I will say there was excellent, that was excellent visual leading for that puzzle.
Yeah.
And I am interested in how mechanical everything in this section is. Like, not in terms of the design, but in terms of the motion. Everything is going through its prescribed motion, and there's very little you can do about it.
Yeah.
It's clockwork
And
orrery.
given the mood that I'm in right now, you know, like I said at the start of the stream, I haven't been in a good place for a couple of days with my depression. Like, navigating a clockwork world in terms of my emotions and stuff is how I feel. So, like, I'm actually finding this really helpful right now.
Yeah, first off, I'm glad, and I can definitely, like, so far this has been a big depression mood game.
Yeah.
But not... I think this is one of those games that it is far more it is probably the most emotional experience I've had playing game in a long time. Like, just from I will say, like, the mechanics of the game are actually incredibly good. This game feels incredibly good to play. But at the same time, it's like you've got this incredibly fluid mechanic stuff, but the game isn't interested. Like, the game doesn't feel super interested in it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fair. And I think you gotta sit there as a block.
Or sit on the side platform as a block, maybe. I don't know. Of that balloon. But, yeah. Like, this kind of... It makes the part where the first credited creator was the creative director feel even more intentional.
Yeah.
Because this is... The game is, like... It is an act of virtuosity from a artistic... From a game design standpoint, but it's not about being an incredible game, about being an incredibly well-made game. There's something else going on here.
Yeah, it's about the emotional response that you're getting.
Yeah.
The mechanics are very clearly not the point.
Yeah.
They're just kind of a tool of the medium.
Yeah.
I need another friend.
Yeah, you need the one behind that block.
Yeah. I like the way that we've immediately latched onto these, like orbs of light as friends. Like, we've immediately pack bonded with them.
Yeah.
You're not wrong.
To some extent, that might be an us thing. To some extent, that could be on purpose. I don't know. I guess companions in games are a standard thing.
Yeah.
These are people joining you here on this trip. Is there...
path up to the side. And a big breakable block.
Yeah. I guess you need to find a way up on top of that.
Oh,
I noticed there's a stopped windmill up there.
yeah, I think
Oh,
our friends are going
Oh,
to...
hello.
Yeah,
Oh, I bet the I guess those are like hermit crabs where they find something to.
Yeah. They're also like urns, which is kind of weird, but
I thought of them as like upside down bells.
yeah, they could be, huh?
Huh.
So,
Can you climb up that windmill arm, or do you just need to go down?
I think the windmill arm's the part of the next section,
yeah.
or the transition to the next section.
So, what I will say at this point in the stream is pick up Gris. It's really, really good. But also, like, I think, I think what might actually be interesting is if a whole bunch of people play through Gris, and then we essentially each, like, a whole bunch of people play through like some Gris sections, and then we all write what we like at the end of each section. We all write what we got out of it, and then compare it, like to see how each other are, how we're all thinking about it.
Hmm.
Yeah. Oh, interesting. So this might not have been a windmill?
I think the windmill doesn't. Huh. Maybe you need to climb up to the top and drop down from all the way up top somehow.
That's what I was thinking.
There's spokes between some of the arms at various. Yeah.
Yeah.
Once again, playing with the whole what's part of the world and what isn't,
What is
and
a
also
platform?
giving some good, and giving some good like make cinematic the zoom out.
Yeah.
All right, so that wasn't quite enough.
I will say I've noticed that the platforms that you can jump on often have like this white line across the top.
Ah.
Oh yeah, you're right. There is a very subtle outline.
Yeah.
That's good. Not signaling. I'm not sure what the word for
It's
that would be.
something that's worth. That's good to have communicated.
Yeah.
And it's
Sorry, go on.
it's subtle enough to that if you're not looking for it, you might like just subconsciously recognize it instead of like it's signaling that's not obvious, like the red in what the hell is that game called? Mirror's Edge.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. You.
Oh,
Oh.
We're being driven
so
upwards.
we've worked through the clockwork and we've washed away some of the red, but we haven't gotten rid of it. Just cleared the sky a little bit.
Yeah.
There was a. I was gonna say about Mirror's Edge, just that like, I got a long way through that game without noticing that the red was like a highlight and not part of the world. But not a long way through the game, but I played for a significant while before like kind of picking up on it being that.
Yeah, I noticed that the ink clouds and all that in the background are still there, but they're just like whitish, yellowish. There's a word for that color. I can't think of it.
I don't know it.
Sorry, I'm just taking a moment because I've spent the last couple of days without really any large emotional kind of responses, and like that moment when you get through the windmill and you rise up, that triggered like the first proper emotional response I've had in like 2 days. of like just feeling relieved, or like I was moving up, and I've started to tear up a bit, and it was just
Yeah, like a sort of.
a sudden moment of oh right, yes, oh wow. Oh.
A powerful moment of catharsis.
It's. I'm thinking of like. There's some songs that I like that are among my favorite songs, and I remember talking to a friend of mine. They were like, "These are like riddles, and that's not really my thing." And like, it's. It doesn't say what it says. Like it doesn't just lay it out there, but if you know what it's talking about, then you experience it. Is
Really?
what I'm hearing. Like you could go through the game and not really understand very clearly, but like I didn't quite understand what that was evoking for you, the lifting of the windmill. Oh.
Oh. Oh my
The
god.
world's being filled.
Oh my god. Oh god.
It's green, it's life, it's
Something. It's not the same as the old, but it's still something new coming from it.
Yeah.
and something living coming from it. Something growing coming from it as opposed to the pain.
And the more the hidden, like the life was still there before, but it was buried under the red.
Oh, we're back here.
Although it's entirely different now.
Not,
Like we got that
it
big
is
old green
different.
platform.
Yeah. Something has changed here.
And another tower.
This was where the picture showed.
The path has grown.
Yeah.
Oh, this is where we're bringing the constellation bits.
Yeah.
So this is we're rebuilding the tower out of the experiences we've done here.
Yeah.
I really
we're
can't.
putting.
Go ahead.
We're putting together all these events into a picture.
Yeah.
These moments.
I do kind of want to. I'm curious to see what someone who hasn't had depression or hasn't had a major grief experience, like what they would get out of this, because but recovery ain't perfect.
It's not a straight line.
And I think the other thing is, well, trying to find someone in our social group who doesn't have depression.
Fair.
And now we're in the Blocklands. So those little glowy, it is a level hub, and those are indications of what the levels are. This is like a very strange sort of forest, dark and deep and mysterious.
I am having so much like French animated film feels, just the entire art direction of this game.
Yeah. Like, I like the way we've gone through the kind of the watercolor, kind of ink blot stage, and now there's a lot more kind of hatching and details.
Mm-hmm. Wait, is this where we started? Is this?
Oh yeah, it's the rolling hills. You're right.
Hmm.
Although they're barely recognizable now
There's
because so much
there that
color's
we
been
didn't
brought back.
see before.
Actually, yeah, that's more of a. Was always there, but because of the lack of color, it couldn't be. We couldn't see, appreciate, interact with it.
Yeah.
It probably doesn't need to be said, but again, that is such a depression feel. I love the fabric-y effect. Not as much of a fan of this kind of platforming, but the fabric-y effect for it is great.
Yeah, it's taking a lot of these game design things, like these things that we are familiar with from games, and he's using this in this very, I guess, kind of like how Cuphead took that old, like, was 30s, what studio was it? The
Fletcher or something.
the Fletcher animation style, and brought that to a game world. This seems to be doing a similar kind of thing, only instead of it being a side-scrolling action game, it's a Metroidvania platformer.
I don't know if I call this a Metroidvania, because it's Metroidvania has a big focus on combat as well, and that's not a thing.
Okay. It's a platformer, an exploration.
Yeah,
game.
like it's got the bits of I can definitely point out bits of, like, I know what you mean when you say it's a Metroidvania, because I can definitely point out the bits of it that are very Metroidvania-y, but like I wouldn't call it a Metroidvania myself.
Yeah, that's legit.
Oh, I like the little detail of the as the leaf fabric moves, it leaf particles come out of it. It makes it feel. It gives the whole place a lot of physical weight.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I think that seems like part of why the platforming is so good, is that the character has real, like, feels very anchored in the world.
Yeah.
It all feels very anchored, but in a very unreal sense. Like, nothing about it feels real, but it is recognizable.
Yeah, you're very. It's unreal, but you and the character is very clearly there, and well, that was cute.
Yeah. The square apple.
I also like the use of the, like, again, a very gamey thing, the letterbox to indicate you're in a cutscene. It barely changes anything, but it's a good cue that you don't need to put in input for this segment.
I hadn't noticed it.
Yeah, no, a lot of time. I mean, yeah, it's a convention, and it might not be. I guess it might not be super noticeable because it's so normal, but it is.
When I say I didn't notice it, I also mean I didn't notice. I didn't notice the letterbox at all. Like, I didn't realize it existed.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
I gotta give fruit to our blocky friend.
Oh, so a rock drop on that second tree.
Yeah. I'm just seeing if I.
One other thing about the fabric effect for the platforms is it gives them a great way to what's the word? Like, I'm assuming you're going to be just smoothly pushed off the block if you're standing on it while it does the transition. Like, it doesn't seem violent.
Yeah, I think you just drop from the surface that's no longer there anymore.
Yeah. I mean, this block thing is so cute.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, this whole zone just feels so much more warm and alive. Like it's still alien, but it's like not a bad alien.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is nothing like you lived in before, but it's better than the like dark place.
I
Better
mean, like,
than the dark and better than the wasteland.
Yeah.
Or more than the wasteland, perhaps not
Yeah.
better.
I recognized the bits of the windmills and stuff. Like, I recognized it. Like, it felt like something I recognized, just very bleak. Where this is something, it's getting further away from what I recognized, but it's getting nicer and nicer.
Yeah, it's a good way to put it. Because, yeah, the Clockwork world was very familiar. This is... There's still ties to the old, but it's definitely something new.
Yeah. Which is also a mood.
Oh, yeah. Up further into the blue. The blue-green, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of languages use the same word for blue and green and related. Psychologically, at least.
Yeah. This section also, like, artistically reminds me a lot of the Even Dom comics, Rice Boy and all them.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
All right, little block friend, where are you trying to lead us here?
Oh,
Oh, thank you for the. Oh, he's helping. It's helping. They're helping.
They're helping, yeah.
it's copy.
Okay. So I guess you lead them through this place they've shown you. Off to
Yeah,
the
you're
left,
guiding.
I think.
You're guiding your little block friend.
And they can't jump as high as you can, but if you have them jump at the right points, they can get onto the platforms that they need to.
Hey.
Which, again, this seems like a huge depression feel because I know if I'm in my worst spots, there is nothing that works better for maybe not getting out of it, but getting through it than, oh, hey, here's a person that can help.
Yeah?
Yeah, like...
Let me just put my problems aside and focus on yours.
You feel like, I mean, I was talking with a friend of mine earlier today about how, like, there's a difference between someone saying, like, Hood, you're an awesome person, and people, to you, Hood, and someone saying, Hood, Hood is an awesome person, when you're not even there. You're not there to hear it, you're not there to think about it. Like, that wouldn't happen if they didn't believe it. And I think, like there's stuff which doesn't happen normally, and
They're all grown up.
they have learned what. But yeah, like helping someone else, like if you're talking things that show that you're a worthwhile person, there's not much clearer than that. That you can help.
I like how in these sections, like, the only control you have is to jump.
I also like that the jump slows you down. Like, you can look around a bit, I guess. Like,
the falling is inevitable, but you can let yourself get up along the way.
Yeah, exactly.
Hello, Glitzburn.
Well, there was a piece of fruit to the right if you want to lead it back to it, but that feels like another little gamey, like, Achievement unlocked. You gave him all the apples. Oh, bye, friend.
Hmm.
You met them, you gave them something, and you moved on. Because they were going someplace that you couldn't. And maybe you don't get to see the end of their story. You just keep on living your own.
But you got to help them for part of theirs, and they got to be part of yours. And, oh snap. The block tower has, it's evolved. Also, one thing I didn't quite catch before, but the addition of the green has recontextualized the red.
Yeah. Yeah. The red starts to feel like fruit in this context.
Support. But I guess, like, even it still has shades of the other, but even just, I guess there's a little bit of tragedy to a support that's not supporting anything. It's bleak, barren.
Mm. Yeah.
Yeah, I see you watching us, weird pot creature.
Oh, hey, is this Rock Friend again?
Yeah.
They have a gift. Oh, it's their house.
Yeah. We just had to go around the big entrance rather than the small entrance.
Yeah.
I think it's... I almost feel like I want to do several playthroughs of this game, and in each of them really kind of focus and take notes on certain recurring thematics, like descending and ascending, or supports and ruins and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I think there's a lot of mileage to be pulled out of that. Oh, we're heading back into the red.
There is a lot of very intentional decision making in this game.
Yeah. Color. That.
I will say, now that we're back in the red area, like the red mist area, this platforming seems a lot less friendly.
Yeah.
Like, this isn't exploring, this is overcoming in this section.
Mm.
Particularly, so these ones, they flip every time I jump.
Oh.
So when I was jumping, I had to jump into thin air, like, kind of really it felt like I was kind of taking a risk.
Yeah. You know it's gonna be there, but you can't see it.
Yeah.
Oh, and that's why they had that one in the dome there to really drive home that you're controlling it. Or perhaps not controlling it, but, controlling it from a mechanical aspect, but perhaps not from a thematic aspect. Because it certainly doesn't feel like you're in control of this.
Yeah, it happens whether you want it to or not. And it ends up throwing you off because you trust your instincts. And then that's not how the situation is.
It's a good puzzle, though. Like, even disregarding the thematic elements of it, this is probably the best game puzzle they've had so far.
Yeah. It's really...
Oh my goodness.
It's really
you
hard
have to come
because
at it from the other side.
It is throwing off my, like, you know, all this kind of training of platformers that I've been doing, you know, all my life growing up playing stuff like Mario. Like, I'm so used to jumping in.
Jump when it's there.
Yeah. Oh, that's the exit. That's how we get out of here.
Yeah. Like, I will say I'm very impressed with the smoothness of the platforming, because this would not work without that.
Oh yeah, like I was saying, like in terms of just the core mechanics, I'm going to use a weird metaphor, but a couple of seasons ago on the Great British Bake Off, there was a guy who his entire thing was that he did very normal things, but did them really, really well. So, like, when everyone else is making all these incredibly fancy biscuits and stuff, he's making just plain shortbread. But they are the best shortbread you've ever tasted.
Yeah.
That's what this feels like. Like, it's not blowing your mind. Although I will admit, that puzzle bit there was incredible.
Yeah.
But it's just like, it's got the basics down so much that it can do all kinds of new stuff. Like, without... It's like they've mastered the bit of it that games have been working on, like the fluidity of platforming and stuff, to a point where it's not totally interested in them, if you get what I mean.
By having so much mastery of the basics, each edition feels very deliberate.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, this isn't
Oh,
just we're showing you new things to...
I got a double jump.
Nice. It said that their little tooltip said to hold space. Is that how you were getting the jump and glide, or is there like
Yeah.
a high jump?
Yeah. Hold space to jump and glide.
Nice. So we've gone from having nothing to being able to move forward to having armor and grounded, and now we have we can go. Can't think of the way to phrase it, but we have movement. It's easier to move up now.
Yeah. And particularly with the whole, like, our first upgrade was all based around dissension and just kind of sticking through, and now we have one that's based around moving on and moving up in particular, which is a really important theme in this game.
Yeah, there's a you gotta go from the edge of the platform. There's a very there's a paper's worth at the very least of thoughts on verticality in this game.
Yeah.
All right, this seems like I get what they're going for. It's the mastery check that you know how the jumping and gliding works, but I think they have the parameters a little too tight for the feel they're going for.
Yeah, but there was only one, like, that's the first jump like that we've had during this game, and it was only for one jump, so...
Yeah.
Considering it's a game entirely based around platforming, one frustrating jump compared to large chunks of Hollow Knight.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's legit.
I like Hollow Knight, but it can be rather awkward. But yeah, Jesus. Is it too late to switch my PhD to doing one on Gris? Is that a thing I can do?
This is definitely an excellent entry in like a study on games, and well, it's a good entry for the games and blog, I guess I would say.
Yeah.
So you have a double jump, and then in the pillars of white you can do the.
It's not the pillars of white. It's when there are these red butterflies.
Oh, good visual cue. And it ties into that whole, the role butterflies seem to have in the colorless butterflies seem to be what's breaking apart the world. And this is, the colored ones are aiding you, might not be the right phrase, but
Pushing
they're
you.
ways you interact with the world, and the world interacts with you.
Yeah.
And like just from a pure gameplay perspective, they're nice, clean indicator that doesn't interfere with the level design. Can you jump and then start the glide later?
You can. I think. Hold on. I think what I want to do is. Okay, I can't land on those blocks. Okay.
Yeah. Like this feels sort of like that was a good guess. I feel like this is sort of a learn to fall again thing. Like you don't have to jump again immediately after you jump, and sometimes it's not as helpful.
Yeah.
Seems like they are getting to the point where mechanical difficulty is starting to clash with the thematic impact, though.
On the other hand, like, I'm kind of appreciating it because it feels like if we're taking this game as a metaphor for recovery, it feels difficult. It feels like we make bursts of progress and then we get a difficult bit. So, like, with that lens, I'm actually okay with it.
Yeah, that's legit. And they're not. There haven't been a bunch of them one right after the other so far.
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry.
You okay?
Yeah. My computer just like ran super low on memory, and I had to close Discord. So I have a Discord substitute open that is not built on Electron, and hopefully it takes up less memory.
Gotcha.
Fair enough.
Also, I know you guys can't hear it, but the music is gorgeous. Like,
Yeah.
The Steam page has the soundtrack, and I'm actually thinking of, like, playing through this, I want it. Like, I'm gonna get the soundtrack now.
Yeah, what little I heard before I joined Voices, I'm definitely getting it as well.
Yeah.
You know, it just now occurred to me that the red trees, like the red has replaced the weird black for the shapes.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of red is closer to brown, and so it kind of becomes the tree. The tree trunk is.
Yeah, and I don't know, just at least for me, just that addition makes it a lot more. What's the way to describe it? Like
Palatable? Like.
Less wrong.
Yeah.
Like before, it was very clearly something alien breaking through it, but now there's a context for it, so it seems less harmful.
Yeah. What I liked that bit, that bit that I've just done. It looks a bit awkward, but I actually find it really nice just because it makes you sit. Like, it makes you wait for a moment. It's a very timing-based one. But it's like, feels very deliberate and slow.
Yeah, it's learning how to work through it rather than just bowling your way through it.
Yeah.
I'm remembering a video I saw recently which was talking about, like, something ADHD people have to deal with particularly often is
Oh wow. Sorry.
So I noticed the butterfly cloud as you ascend. I noticed there's a square above the mountain too, a green square. So we added a red sun, a green square, and grief is still present, but there's more than just the grief now.
Oh, there's a statue above. Stepping forward.
oh.
That butterfly cloud was honestly that sequence had, although of course smaller in scope, that had the sort of same vibe to me as the finale of Journey.
It felt to me very similar to the bit earlier with the windmill that I reacted to very strongly.
Yeah, it's the same sort of sequence, and this is moving onward, moving on, moving up. We're not there yet, but progress is being made. Hey, it's our friends, the black butterflies.
Are they black, or is it just depending on what
The light is.
Which is kind of a big deal.
It's a huge bird.
Not entirely good, but a lot less bad.
Oh, I think if the black butterflies represent our grief, then the bird is kind of our this is, we've made all this progress and now the grief is returning.
Yeah, it's a reminder that it's not gone. It's
just
recovery and what's the word for it? Recovery and getting over it, I guess, are not the same thing. But the tools we've gathered, the things we've learned, they're still what we use to make the progress is still there. We still have those tools, and the progress isn't done.
And the colors are still here.
You do better. You can do. Oh wow! That bit with the bird blowing you up instead of.
Yeah, the butterflies. Oh.
So not only is this a great sequence, it's also a very good, boss puzzle, is probably what I would call this.
Yeah.
And also, because this is a ruin section complete with the grief bird, depression bird, what have you, and using it to help you move forward. I like that. You can't just work against it. Sometimes you have to work with it.
Yeah.
But anyway, the fact that this is all a ruin segment, not only does that, the grief is tied to the ruins, because it's grief for what was, but it's also a reminder of how high you were, I guess.
Yeah.
A reminder that you're climbing back, not. It looks like you need to use the double jump a little earlier.
There we are. I mean, holy shit. The way, just the number of, the way it's using the metaphors, both visually and as part of the game. Oh.
Yeah, the mechanical integration of the metaphor is definitely a big deal. Hey, bird.
Also, mechanically speaking, the fact that we had we had this training with the Red Wind earlier.
Yeah, this is Wind as obstacle mechanic being turned into Wind as tool, basically.
Wind as boss fight. Well, not boss fight. Wind as boss puzzle.
The wind isn't just something that stops you now. It's a part of how you live.
Okay, I think I know what I need to do here.
It's also like the black ink of the wind before. Like now that there's more color to give it context, it's not just an obstacle like Packbat was saying. And it because of the tools that we've gained over the course of this, it doesn't have to be.
Yeah.
And you still have to break some things to move forward. You can't just build on top of the old.
Yeah. I feel like it's kind of ambiguous about like whether a bird wants to harm you or whether it's trying to help you or whether it's just a thing that like.
I mean, it's the cloak, the black and white. It's neither. It's just you.
Yeah.
That
It's your
sequence
shadow.
really hammered it home.
Yeah, that was a really strong visual metaphor there.
It ties back to where the bird first showed up with the where the butterflies first showed up, the black and the white. Yeah. Which it's the cloak she's wearing, black and white.
Yeah.
And we did just get a load of actual kind of red birds kind of just fluttering off there.
I was thinking of like the whole like your shadow in the sort of pop culture young thing of like this is the part of you that you hide from, you don't like seeing, and that's another thing the bird could represent.
All right, so now we gotta ring the bell. I wonder what that'll do to the bird. Doesn't matter how much armor you have, sometimes it's not going to be enough.
Ah! Feel the power of my block! Which I just jumped.
I wonder if this is because I noticed it did the much stronger blast when you got too close to it. So I wonder if that's the goal here, because it's the one who's going to ring the bell.
Yeah. I mean, I actually live like really close to two different churches, so hearing bells like that is kind of a thing that I hear a lot. So I don't know how common like proper church bells are in America.
Usually there's like one per old town, like an old city will have them, but other than that, yeah.
I don't. It's the common experience I had as a kid was like the house I lived in was across, like behind the houses across the street was the railroad tracks. So I heard the railroad tracks, but there weren't any bells ringing.
Yeah, I'll definitely say trains are a lot more common as like a sound of home that I'm familiar with.
And now we have blue and purple.
We've confronted the grief more fully, and now we have the less, like the red and the green seem like the red was like, it was a wound, it was powerful, it was stark. The green was building off of that, and this is like definitely coming to terms with it, being able to handle the cooler aspects of it. At least that's how I'm feeling it.
Particularly this image of, like, whoever this woman was, she's obviously very important to Gris. Like, her statues are everywhere. And jumping through her head, it's a very strange experience.
I feel like this is, if not acceptance, it's something similar to it.
Yeah.
Ooh, water.
Particularly
like
with
it's
particularly with this current soundtrack.
Oh, that's cool looking.
Yeah.
That is really cool looking.
And it's the acknowledgement. I feel like metaphorically, it's like now that able to accept it, we can see things that we couldn't before. Same like how becoming aware of life again let us see the green.
Yeah.
Like it's letting us acknowledge the edges of things that we can't quite face directly.
Yeah. And the rain makes me think of tears. Like there's the grief of being overwhelmed, and then there's the grief of like accept after you accept that someone's dead, that's not the end of your grieving. There's still
like this is where we have moved beyond grief, and this is like it's sadness. It's everyday. Like it almost feels like kind of everyday sadness. You know, that kind of.
Yeah, and with that ties into the whole, because you notice every other time there's been a burst of color, like the red was a stab wound.
Yeah.
The green was more like an explosion, like that. I feel like the green was what's the way to describe it? Like coming back out of it, realizing that life is still happening. Whereas the blue was a lot slower and more drawn out. This was the I think you're right that this was the acknowledgement that this is real. This is like confronting the sadness, and that's part of it. Maybe not accepting it just yet, but like dealing with it.
Like it's also like it's a much more kind of natural, because this game does have a big thing with like the red was very artificial and mechanical. Whereas this is, you know, it's rain. It's a very natural thing.
Yeah.
And it's a lot less. It doesn't have the destructive harshness of the black. Oh, that's cute.
Oh!
That's cute.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that was cool. The platform appearing when the rain could fall on it.
Yeah.
And the blue just adds so much depth to the world itself. Like it's
blue is the color
so much less flat
of atmospheric perspective, isn't it? It is, the air is blue, but only a little. So if you're looking at something very far away, it shifts blue. That is like the classic kind of how do you draw distance on a page is blue.
And the other thing is both the sky and like blue is associated with things like the sky and the sea, which are far large, like they're kind of huge natural things.
And you'll notice the birds flying through the water there. Which you just, that sky and sea, like, that really adds the whole dream-like metaphoric nature of all this, I feel like. Oh, hey, we're back up. that really sells that. Yeah, this is the same as that barren wasteland of the start. But look how much it has changed back to what it probably was originally. Or, well, no, that's not true.
Or
Changed to be comparable to what it was originally.
this is a whole place in a way that this is more of a whole place now.
Yeah, a major blue shift there.
I feel like there might be 5 sections, and it's like, you know, the 5 stages of grief type thing.
Almost certainly, yeah.
Probably, yeah.
So we've done bottom left, top right, or bottom left, bottom right. So next would be top right, I think.
Oh yeah, because I think we need the upgrade from. We can only jump over there with.
Yeah. This was not a place we could get to before.
And one thing I'll also note is that the what's the word for it? The addition of blue let the red butterflies move you forward as well as up.
I feel like I can get onto that roof with these butterflies.
I think you're right.
Yeah.
I do find the way the jump glide works in this very interesting, because it's not like a traditional double jump.
No.
And it really like pushes the whole bird visual metaphor thing. Because those are it shifts very visibly to wings.
It feels a lot more like a bird.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure we need to get up to the top.
Oh, so you came down from that direction after the green.
Right. So what would be next? Yellow? Orange?
Yellow, maybe? I don't think there's been much yellow.
We've got all the primary colors now, so maybe brown?
Well, we've had red, green, and blue. Am I missing something?
I don't think so. So yeah, I would assume yellow, browns, earth tones might be the.
Yeah. Yellow feels like it's a gap. We haven't really seen red mixing with green to bring yellow. It's been like we can see red and green sort of together a little bit in the middle here. So I think yellow. That jump is really tricky though.
I think what's getting you is that very initial rightward movement.
Do you mean leftward or?
Well, no, the where I'm at in the stream, you drift right just a little bit when you jump initially.
Did it?
Ooh. Okay.
Nicely done. Yep, and there's another level. or another level indicator.
Yeah.
That looks reflections interesting.
I just jumped all the way back down to where I came from.
That
Yeah.
sucks, because it seems like that was, I would have guessed that was the right approach to it, but maybe you had to ground pound in the center to get some red butterflies to act up or something.
Maybe.
I think what the dots underneath the various things mean is, like how many of the kind of circles we found. Like how many of the circles we've activated in various places.
One thing I've noticed is we haven't had the camera zoom out to indicate that we've set up another bit of the constellation. So this might be you jump back up there with this, and you actually get up to the constellation now.
Maybe.
I'm pretty sure I know what constellation is.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure it's spelling out Gris.
Oh.
That could make sense. It's, you know, recover, because it seems like a whole big part of this is recovering yourself after grief, depression, what have you.
Yeah.
Man, you have to use the absolute leftmost edge of that butterfly column to make this work.
Yeah. This is such a finicky jump.
Maybe
I almost feel like this isn't actually how we're supposed to do this jump. Like I'm actually just missing something.
Yeah.
definitely possible. That, or it's one of those you're double jumping too early.
Yeah.
Because it's not the height that is the problem. It's the horizontal movement.
But yeah, I mean the problem is you run out of height to complete the horizontal movement.
Yeah, actually, have you checked the bottom? The bottom right's where we went for the red, right? Maybe you need to check that again.
I think we went to the bottom right earlier. Is it supposed to be... Are you supposed to go to the right instead of the left out of this butterfly jump?
There's nothing to the right.
Okay, yeah. So...
Oh, actually, I think you might be onto something with that, where it's the second time you did it, coming down on it, you hit it from the top. That might make it a little easier. But yeah, I'm thinking ground pound in the center there. Nope. Maybe you... It's entirely possible you did just go somewhere you're not supposed to yet.
It's... Maybe ground pound under the right column? Because look, it's the top... It looks like a column breaking with... I don't know. Like up on the top arch, underneath the column to the right? Because it's got that loop in it. I don't know.
If that doesn't work, maybe head back to the red area. So bottom right. I don't know.
I don't know either.
Oh, that seemed like potentially something. Those little circles indicate that how many of the little orbs you've collected in each zone.
Oh, I think...
Down here?
Oh, water, you're right. Turtle zone. Okay, that was... The red butterfly should not have been there yet.
There's something off to the...
So I guess we learned how to dive in this zone, dive into the depths of our grief.
Maybe.
We've lost the music. It's just my footsteps.
Yeah, this has a very different vibe. We're heading into the depths again, but they're not as blank and dead as they used to be. Yeah. Here's the bell again. Back when it was just red. But there's more than just the red now.
And that water wasn't there, and you kept going down.
Yeah. So we're building our support up. And that water is floating.
And when we go back to our grief, we find something else there.
We're still descending, but we're descending a lot less. Like, we're going back down into sadness, but it's not into the depths that we were before.
It's not uncontrolled. We're confronting it on our terms, not on its terms.
Yeah.
I like the little red in that jar plant.
Yeah.
I don't know. Could be flowers.
Maybe you block drop into the water from up top.
Yeah, I'm just kind of checking.
Oh,
I appear to be able to pass through some of the black bits.
Yeah.
I like the little fishies.
Fish friends.
You alright, Packbat?
I'm just contemplative of the bit.
Oh, whoa, it's a little layer of water. Oh, and it's mirrored,
Yeah.
which means you're probably, because I remember the what is it? That
Yeah.
top layer showed mirrors, like it was a mirrored world, so it could be that's where this dumps you out or leads you to.
There was a bit earlier with the water being on the roof, in a puddle on the rooftop instead of on the floor.
Oh, wow. Oh, wow. That is A, gorgeous, and B, entirely my aesthetic.
Yes,
Yes.
very much so.
Oh, wow.
This place is so beautiful.
I know.
Oh, we've got the invisible things, or not invisible, but there's degrees of darkness now instead of just being a homogeneous black.
Yeah.
And just from a pure gameplay perspective, having the little whoomp when you land on something is, number one, it tells you how big the platform is, and number two, it's a good feedback that yes, you've landed on a thing.
And it's just gorgeous.
Oh yeah.
I like how a lot of it you have to trust that, like, you do things having to trust that what you're doing is the right idea.
Yeah. You can't be certain of most of them. You can guess, but...
Like, I'm very much playing on instinct, and I don't want to try it. Unless I can't see what I can do. If I can see I can do something, I'm probably going to try and do it. Like, I'm not going to try and think my way through this, because right now that's not what I need. And I don't think that's what the game wants you to do.
I feel like that's more a second playthrough, collect all the little glowy collectible constellation things kind of deal. Right now, it's less a puzzle platformer and more like an experience with that, using that as a thematic tool.
Yeah. Damn it. I need to jump up high enough that I can use
the force of your fall to
get myself around this bend. That's a really clever little puzzle. I like that a lot.
Yeah. And it makes sense, like, dropping into water with a dress is not... It's going to, like, lift up the hem normally.
Oh, we have another Tears of Falling, but it feels a lot more controlled than the previous one, and that water surface is a lot more distinct. That's gonna do something. Ooh, crystal caves. I love some crystal caves. Okay, there's a mechanic here, and I have no idea what it is.
Mm-hmm.
What happens if you block when it does the glow?
Oh! Oh!
I like it. I'm willing to bet you can do it in midair, too.
Nah.
Ah, that's too bad.
But I bet you can stack it on top of each other.
Yep, that seems legit.
Oh, each one... If it's supported when it happens, then it appears, and it replaces the previous one.
I like also just in this whole grief depression thing, like it's another very deliberate puzzle, incremental steps.
Yeah. Oh, I know a lot of this thing has just been me going, oh, and stuff like that, but this is a fantastic game. I love it.
It's so beautiful. And just astonishingly well made.
I almost feel like the next power is going to be like an inversion or something. Oh, it's Scales puzzle. I like it. I see what they're going for here.
Yeah, definitely.
Oh, so it breaks the glow breaks the previous one regardless.
Yeah. Oh.
Oh?
Oh, okay. Ah, when it flips is when it opens. Oh, well, that's cool.
Oh, so you can have a lesser weight on it.
Get it halfway.
I don't think...
What happens if you leave a standing one on it when you jump on the other side?
That's what I'm trying to do.
Yeah.
You can leave two double weight, like you and the weight, maybe.
I think you want to leave the standing one on the low side, and then try to go up to the high side.
Because what you need is you need it halfway up, basically.
Yeah, let's... Yeah. Wait!
Oh,
Build
wait,
up.
it's the transition.
To build up, you can put one on the floor, and then put one on top of it, and then drop on the other side.
That, or it's as you transition to, like, basically leave a block on one side and, it's when it flips that it's open.
Okay, but... Okay. I just... Like, I suspect, like... Make a block on the low side, and then make a block on top of that block, and then land on the high side.
Wait, or that, or
Yes.
put a block under the other, or under the high one.
Or put a block under the high one. That could also work.
Yeah.
Yeah, that works.
Thank you.
The trick is to get it half.
Yay!
Okay, yeah, I think they were expecting you to put a block under it instead of above it. Looking at the structure of that again.
Yeah. But oh well, they both work.
I mean, if they play tested it and they were like, oh, both of those work, okay.
We choose the high road. So we had a square, we have a diamond, now we have a square and a diamond. And we have the smaller internal square. And yep. Ooh.
Oh!
We are now the fish birds. That's cool looking.
Yeah, that is so cool looking.
And as underwater underwater movement goes, this might be some of the best I've seen.
Yeah. Well, it's just using the same movement as it does for flight, but without if they've just taken flight and removed the gravity bit. Oh wow! A sunfish. Hello.
Woohoo! Large ocean friend.
Oh.
We've learned if...
Okay, that transition is beautifully executed.
Yep.
Okay, that little coral lamp thing is both ominous and full of promise. The land movement just seems so slow now that you have the stingray.
Foolish landbrellers, I shall go and live among my people. I gotta say, like, if this is, like, Gris's, like, in terms of a metaphor, Gris is a girl after my own heart.
Yeah, that's fair.
There was a star down lower in the structure. I don't know. Oh.
I think.
Oh, you can angle yourself. That's yes.
Yeah. But I think there was a star at the bottom that I don't remember you picking up.
Yeah, there definitely was.
I think You mean one of the dots?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I'm coming to get it. Like, I'm going up and around to get it.
You couldn't get it from that side.
Yeah.
You can go around.
That's what I've been working on, the assumption.
That
Makes
that's
sense to
probably
me.
True.
Yeah, like that.
Oh, yeah, you're right. That I didn't realize that left wall was solid.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that was cool.
Yeah.
I'm liking the physics launching puzzle set bits of this.
Yeah. Oh, God.
It's the flight
both-
pub. Go ahead.
It's both a game in the spirit of, like, here's a new tool, learn how to use it, and a game that's not about here's a new tool, learn how to use it. Which is
Yeah, the big moments of catharsis, success, fanfare, all that are not you gained a new power up. It's you've progressed to the next stage, like color. The world's changed.
yeah.
Oh.
Oh.
Mirror world. Yeah, this segment is far and away my favorite so far.
I say it is my favorite, but, like, that's saying it's, like, the best of, like, you know, it's, like, the best in a very, very, very good class. Like,
Yeah.
I'm gonna see if there's another way.
Maybe there's something you have to drop onto. Or there's a way around underneath it.
Ah.
Ah. Oh! I think I see what the game wants you to do.
Oh.
Dropping onto that barrier as a block that's underwater. Oh no, you can't get deep enough to touch that. Never mind. But you do climb up here, and I don't know where you go from here.
I'm gonna check out, like, a
Yeah,
bit more.
directions.
Yeah. Oh wow, now we're in the very deep ocean.
Yeah, because that's what we've been doing. We've been climbing down.
Finding our way deeper to.
And I
And we
notice
can't
now
go too
instead of
deep.
light background, colored platforms, it's colored platforms, dark background.
Oh, we have another one of the statues.
This was us falling. That in the beginning, this is where we fell into the black and white room.
Oh.
That's my take on it, anyway.
I'm not sure exactly is, but I've kind of, like, I've lost a bit of my sense of direction after all the kind of falling and stuff that we've done.
Yeah. It means something.
I mean, just exploring, like, I'm a bit stuck as to what to do, but again, this area is just exploring it. It's so good. feel like we need to unlock those orange barriers somehow.
I think that's that center lamp thing.
Hmm.
I do feel like they might have been a little overzealous in the level design here, though. Like, I get the feeling we're going to be... This zone is wonderful, but we're going to be in here for a long time.
Yeah.
It's hard to tell what we're supposed to do here. And it's beautiful, but that... Yeah.
I'm guessing each of the, like...
Oh.
8 directions is going to lead you to one of those star pieces. Oh, I think we were supposed to, like...
Follow this one?
Well, no, I feel like we might have been intended to go up or right and then loop around that way. Oh, it's a race. Have you mastered the quick movement? That, or we gotta trick it.
Got it.
Yeah. Hello. How many dots do you have now?
4.
Got it.
Yeah, pick. I guess you must have picked the path to the next zone by mistake instead of going through the. Actually, we've done that a couple times where we found the next zone before we found what we were supposed to pick up to make it possible. Back to this again.
You can like drop onto in here to change the mirror? Like the mirror, it feels like there's not a way through on the upside down side of it. I don't know.
Oh. I could apparently just go through those pillars.
Oh.
Oh. Oh.
Oh, maybe it's if it's something's broken on the top, you can go through it. Yeah.
Oh.
It's a reflection.
Yeah.
It's a reflection.
Yeah. That makes sense.
And then the top one is the achievement collecting thing.
Or just is the template.
Oh, and there's okay. Oh, you got red fishes following you.
And they can break
Which
through
lets
the
you-
orange barriers.
Oh, so you did do it out of order.
Okay.
And thus accidentally
Made it a lot harder.
yep.
Yeah.
It's the gate without a key thing.
Yeah.
And because birds are fish and fish are birds, they oh no, they didn't follow you into the next zone.
Oh, I guess you have to.
Oh, but there's some down there. Okay.
Okay.
Oh, it's the barrier you can go through the other side, but I bet you can use this to do a super jump. Yeah.
Yeah. There you go.
I gotta say, the swimming feels so fluid and so good.
That's pretty wonderful.
And then once we get those barriers up, we can get the fish. We can get them to come up here.
Yeah.
Yes! love it. I love this game.
Yeah.
And also, I feel like just going with the colors again, the red, that first stage, it propels and supports, but it's not enough on its own. Like on its own, it's a barrier.
Yeah.
Which, since I'm pretty sure they're going with the stages of grief thing, like anger, it can push you through, but it's not enough to get you there on its own. Oh, it's our turtle friend.
Hey, turtle.
Oh, and we follow that into the abyss, so it gives us some light. And I notice its light's changing color as we go.
Ah.
Well, that was cool. Another large statue. This one might be one of the most intact ones we've seen.
I mean, it could be the statues are representing Gris herself, so she's putting herself. Like, as time goes on, Gris is getting more and more supported.
Yeah, that's
Right.
kind of my interpretation of it.
Yeah. She might be finding ways to finding a self to be again.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, wow.
Oh. Oh.
Oh, God. Oh. Holy shit.
Oh.
I like that it's not yellow but white, because what the sort of like a restoration of the baseline. Ooh, it's an eel now. So that one was bringing light back.
Hmm.
Yeah. And light in dark places back.
I almost feel like it's light everywhere. Because before we had the colors, but even the white was more of a lack than anything else.
A lack of color?
Yeah. Like this is light that affects the colors. If that makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah, I can see that. And it makes sense with the painting metaphor that white would be one of those things that doesn't. It's not one of the core tools, because so often white is space. It's the paper.
Yeah, before it was the blankness of the canvas, but this is...
We are bringing white into the space.
Exactly.
The eel's back.
Feels back.
Yep, because this is the part where the Gris is actually like really dealing with the
It's,
like
it's
this
always
is the
there.
acceptance phase.
It's always there. It's like, but maybe you can outrun it.
And this is also like part of going down there was confronting it.
Yeah. For reference, I'm not actually controlling this bit. Like this is all.
I figured. This is one of those cases where making it an actual failable sequence would be a terrible thing from a thematic perspective.
Yeah.
That would lose all of its punch if you had to redo it.
Yeah.
And then having the turtle, you know, I almost want to like associate the turtle with therapists because they're like a guide for you. But then, like, you know, I had to kind of pay to activate it, if you, in the sense, like, with those 6 dots. Does that make sense?
Definitely one way to look at it, yeah.
The game is... What was the thing that people said? Like... There's... I remember someone talking about Inside, where it's like, they... It's not... They aren't... It's atmosphere as opposed to statement.
Yeah.
Like, this isn't...
There's nothing
intended
concrete
to be-
here, but there's enough to associate with various things.
Yeah. And now we have lights.
I mean, right now, like this section with the lights coming on and off, that feels very much like, you know, dealing with my depression and stuff. Like, the light comes on and off. Although in my case, I usually use light, and particularly heat, as a metaphor for my depression. You know, just a constant heat.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think this is just erring more towards the sides of the traditional metaphor where the light's a good thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or at least it's a guide, like it.
Yeah.
And having to, like, these bits in darkness where you kind of have to navigate by kind of feel and memory. This all, it's a game that feels very realistic in the most surreal of ways. Like, all of this feels like metaphors that I would use.
Yeah, that's legit.
Okay.
I do like the whole revealing the path, and also everywhere you step, spawning light at this point.
Yeah.
Like, Gris is bringing light back to the dark bits of her, of this metaphorical space.
Yeah.
And I will say, having those little lanterns in the it's the water bubble trees. That's cool. The lanterns in those the ruins really makes them feel a lot less dead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We ascend.
And here we are again.
Yeah, we've added light and dark back to the world. Because you'll notice that now there's we've added what's the word for it? Like contrast, maybe?
Yeah. It's night now. There's night and day. They aren't just.
It's not just flat.
We've added depth to it.
Yeah. Now let's play the...
Maybe now is when you're supposed to go up?
Yeah, I'm thinking so.
Because now...
Although I'm sure if you're feeling particularly cheeky, you can go to the left and go through the water zone again.
Oh! We've got all of this bit added on.
Oh!
Oh!
So yeah, you weren't actually supposed to be capable of making that jump.
Yeah.
So, good job.
Yeah. Now we know.
It reminds me of... I broke a load of dungeons in Skyrim because I got to the door that you're supposed to only be able to get... Like, you know, the exit to the dungeon? That you're only able to get to once you've come out of it? You can platform to a whole bunch of those.
Yeah.
Nice. Okay, I kind of feel like they probably shouldn't have spawned those red butterflies until after this segment then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess they just assumed no one would go back up there.
I don't know. Oh.
Oh, we got a light bug now.
Yeah.
We ascend. So this is, well, it makes sense. We just unlocked light as the zone mechanic, so now this is going to be the light zone.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking this is probably the final or semi-final level, based on the structure, at least.
Yeah.
Maybe final level next, then an epilogue level?
Could be. This might be the epilogue.
Nah, because we haven't used that constellation platform yet.
Oh, yeah. I don't know.
Oh, wow.
Ooh, yellow. Yellow butterflies.
Yellow. Oh.
Whoa, light burst. That's cool.
Yeah.
And it has the whole thing of this whole leap, like the leap of faith mechanic, which I've been commenting on a lot.
Yeah.
Like,
You've
the light...
never met yellow butterflies.
Yeah.
You're just counting on them to get you there.
And it's the war. Does the collision still exist when it's dark? I'm assuming it does, but
No, I think...
It does not. Okay, I'm liking this mechanic a lot. This is a very conceptual and okay, lotuses? That's clearly means something, but I'm not sure what.
I think we need to go left. There's one of those.
And with the addition of light, we've changed the red into pink. Or given the ability for it to be pink.
Yeah. And yeah. It's
this area is a lot more, feels a lot more surreal and conceptual to me. Like this is, I don't know.
But we've gone from something that was a kind of barren Unreal to something that's been a much more
pleasant Unreal.
Yeah. I'd almost call it spiritual, except spiritual doesn't mean a goddamn thing to me.
It's a word. I mean, there's a field there.
Yeah.
That I think a lot of spiritual stuff tries to evoke. Or is a big part of spiritual stuff for a lot of people.
Yeah.
Like lotuses
now we're getting the upside down.
Lotuses are definitely a spiritual symbol in, like, I think Buddhism.
I think so, yeah.
No, Hinduism. Pretty sure it's Hinduism. Or maybe both, because, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, it's another light bug. Or I guess light bird.
Yeah.
That might be, that's a hummingbird carrying a globe, right?
Looks like it.
Could be? Yeah, could be. And you can bring two with you, maybe, if you go left.
No, that's just in case you run out.
Oh, okay. Oh, that is to replace the one that disappears, I guess. Wait, what?
Oh no, it just goes away when you go that far right. Okay, interesting.
Okay. Wait, there's something. There's birds up at the top now? Oh, wait. Right. Okay. And you have the trust jumps again. You can't see what's there. But you trust that there's something there for you to land on.
Okay, what I think I need to do is...
It might be one of those wait for it to fade again things.
Yeah.
Climb up to the top. Above those and wait for the bird. And wait for the... Maybe... Does it fade on the box dress thing? Like, you did the box dress thing... each of the last 2 times, and that's when it disappeared.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
It's good that you have control over it, but that is kind of annoying.
Yeah, that's tricky. You have to... I guess maybe you want to do the box on the ground, so you can just... You don't have that pause at the impact, and you can just go back to regular...
Damn it.
Oh.
Yeah, it's tough.
Yeah. Yeah.
Got it.
Oh.
Nicely done. Ah, our final power, or what I'm assuming will be our final power.
final.
Actually, it's not even so much power; it's final form.
Yeah.
We have block, bird, manta.
This isn't even my final form.
Oh my goodness.
Gis, but Gis is now Freezer.
Yeah, no, it works. Oh wow, that's so much more textured than anything we've seen before.
Yeah.
Because we have light, we have the capacity for shading.
Yeah. Oh, wow. It's just all these different kinds of beautiful. It's a journey through.
Yeah. I don't want to say anything like, go out and buy Gris now or anything like that, because I know Packbat doesn't like it, but like, I highly recommend this game, basically.
Yeah.
So
I noticed the moon's been shrinking into a more what's the word for it? Like, it's drifting into the background to be part of the aesthetics, and we came to the other reverse side of the tower.
This is
the music here is very minimalist. Like, it's a very simple kind of tune.
I feel like at this stage, that's kind of what's needed, though.
Yeah.
This isn't an orchestral swell kind of game.
No. It's a, oh, I see what I need to do now kind of game.
Yep. I really like the, what's the word for it? The little bubbly effect when you break that line.
Yeah, it's a splash.
Sorry, having a what do I do now kind of moment.
I feel like. Sorry, my video was freezing up, so. I think you want to try to get to the top of that tower.
Yeah.
Again, the game is getting really just sort of tricky to execute.
Yeah. Because I think I want to get to those butterflies.
Yeah. How low a double jump can you do? I feel like it might be that's what needs to happen is a very shallow double jump.
Okay. Jump. Got it.
Yes.
That's like mechanically is very simple, but like what's the word for it?
Execution's very tight.
Execution's very tight, and conceptually it feels like it shouldn't work, even though mechanically that is entirely within the rules.
Yeah. That's how I feel quite often when my opponent makes a very clever move in chess. I feel like that shouldn't work, but mechanically it does. That's how I feel when Packbat suddenly beats me.
I've played a lot of chess in my life.
I mean, so have I, but I've played it in very silly, very particular, quite silly way.
Oh, wow. You don't jump all the way to the barrier, but you jump close enough that it lights up.
Yeah.
Wow.
I feel like it's a good sign for the game by how many times each of us have just gone, wow.
Yeah, like, this is...
Like, particularly if you're watching recording, I feel like we've just been gushing about this game, and, like, apart from a couple of finicky platform bits, it deserves everything.
Yeah.
Like...
Yeah, it's legit.
Can one of you two check when this game came out?
Sure thing. 13th December 2018.
Okay, so close enough to the end of 2018, I can reasonably put it as my top game of 2019.
Yeah, that's legit.
Yeah.
I suppose it's worth mentioning that the world turned upside down is probably, pretty thematically important as well.
Yeah.
But it's still, completely functional despite, the change in perspective and point of view.
Yeah. And some things still work the same, like the red butterflies.
Which, it ties into that whole, recovery slash working through stuff. This is, like, I think if we're going with Stage the Grief, this is probably acceptance.
Yeah. The world is completely different from from how you understood it, but you can still navigate it.
Yeah.
The tools you learned trying to cope with it.
It's gone from broken to just different.
Yeah.
Okay, so I need to get these.
Can you take the red fish with you if you do Like, can you turn them back into fish if you get back into the... Yeah.
Yeah, I know what I need
Oh,
to
that's
do.
a
It's
weird
just gonna be...
mechanic. This is a weird puzzle. I like it, but it's weird.
Yeah.
GIF.gif.
Because you gotta go burst through the barrier, then... Yeah, that's hard.
That is really hard.
It's hard, but I'm enjoying trying to pull it off. Like, just on a
Yeah.
kind of,
Ooh,
you know, kind of...
oh, so close. Yeah.
Just like on a
It-
kind of... It's an enjoyably tricky piece of platforming. Nailed it.
There's been a very noticeable, very sharp difficulty spike, though.
Big.
Oh, there's the other glowy. Almost
Yep.
forgot we were looking for those.
We're too busy just enjoying that platforming.
It's also been, like, compared to the other sequence, like, instead of collecting the 8 and all that, it was 2 very long segments to get the final inner diamond. Oh, the basin's cracked.
Oh, it's the song that we were singing at the start. Like, that's what we were singing at the start of the game.
Oh, wow. So what does that do? Oh, there's animals and stuff now.
Oh. There have been a few animals, but not many.
I feel like so this is like Gris has come back into herself, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like
Question is, where do you sing the song? Is there some way to go up?
it definitely looks like there should be.
Do you go back down
Oh.
to go up?
Is
Or go
what
back
if you
down?
keep singing it? Like if you just hold the button. Did that just make the lotuses bloom? Yeah, it had the lotus bloomed into red butterflies to the right.
Oh! Yeah, to the right there's red butterflies.
Oh.
Ah, I was paying attention to the wrong level elements. But yeah, the lotuses bloom when you sing. Which makes sense. Like, this is... Yeah.
Okay,
It
we
fills
got
in
another...
the color and makes them bloom. Okay. I feel like I'm getting what the game's throwing out here.
Now, if only I can...
Maybe there's something to the right that you're supposed to climb up? No, there's nothing.
Oh, there's another.
Yes.
Yeah, it fills in color of anything that's just an outline. And there's another one on top of that little pagoda thing there, so. Oh, you can jump out of those at an angle.
Oh,
That is useful information.
yeah.
So this is definitely like a really powerful recovery segment.
So when you land on these particular, like, square trees, there's a kind of glass sound effect. Or like crystal.
Nice. Oh, that seems important. Bless you. I'm seeing a spot for a constellation.
Yeah.
Oh. So, with this song, there are more stars to find.
Ah, right.
Even what seemed what?
The platform there with the thing in the middle to the left of this cinder kind of upside down bowl thing.
It's letting you. What's the word for it? Like now that life has returned to it, it's recontextualized what you've already been through. I guess would be a way to describe it.
But this
sorry,
the platform right before the middle.
Yeah, it's got a pulsey thing in the center.
Left, it has a pulsey.
Oh, right, yeah. I'm glad I've got YouTube
and there's
because...
a bunch of things that you can... A bunch of outlines there.
Oh, I noticed it actually has a circle there as well to denote the. Oh, hello, friend.
Hello.
On the move.
I'll be right back as soon as I've worked out.
Maybe if you move to the right side of the platform, it'll move?
Yeah.
Onward, noble steed.
Someone popped into the chat and they were like, just popping in, hi fellow slackers, definitely getting chill Monument Valley vibes from this. Oh wow, look at those.
Oh, the larger one you were able to get the full, get a full constellation bid from. And that's why there's a red fish. Okay, that makes sense. So you don't have to go all the way back.
Ah,
and
right.
You actually pass.
I think you used the red fish earlier too. Like on the puzzle before, you had the red fish was important. But yeah.
They're getting some good level design. There's some good level design for level reuse in this segment.
Yeah.
So now you just need one more, I guess?
Might be off on the other side. Yeah, the game, in WMC Shakespeare, the game is on sale today. I don't know, I'm guessing it's like a weekend sale.
Hmm.
Oh! that's a thing to sing to. Sorry. Yeah, it's like a weekend sale today.
Yeah.
Right below you, below the square. I think, what was it? It was like $12 or something? I don't know.
Yeah, it was 11 last I checked.
Yeah. Oh. Sorry. Like,
I can't actually see the
those
chat, so...
two towers have the sort of flowers at the top. Oh, they don't. Okay.
Yeah, they're not. They're the light.
Okay.
The light mechanic, not the outline one.
Okay. Sorry.
Because I think now we are, rather than... We're no longer passively filling things in. Like, we're making... Like, we are getting things to move by ourselves. Like, we're doing it now.
Exactly.
Oh.
Gone from, passively trying to get back together to actively,
Rebuilding.
exactly. Like the little scarab platforms. These are also that's these platform things and whatnot. They're a lot more organic now. Like you start from the turtle and all that.
Other side, there's a pots that you can stand
Oh
on.
yeah.
Yeah, Matilda's been talking about how great the controls are, like, all stream. And, like, the animation is utterly gorgeous. We've all been admiring it.
Also, hello to whoever it is in chat. I'm sorry, the game is full screen, so I can't actually see what anyone is typing.
Yeah.
Got it.
Okay.
Also, if you're coming in at this point, you are seeing a very different game to what it was at the start.
Yeah.
Like, in basically every way.
A transformation of the world and the character is kind of a big deal in this.
Yeah.
Holy, the clouds of color look much different now that there's light and contrast.
Yeah.
And at some point, the oranges and yellows have come back, have come into the world.
I noticed them when we did the light thing at the end of the turtle level. I don't think I need to do those ones, but I can.
Yeah. There's no reason not to.
Crack. Oh, the manta ray mechanic is so good.
Yeah, I noticed the fields of color here is a lot less smothering than it was in previous sections. All right, so you've cleared the right side, so I guess now it's time to go to the left. Because this is where our spider platform friend is.
Yeah. I like that stuff like spiders are like being helpful and not treated as like monsters and stuff.
Yeah. This is
I think I might just take a bit of break just because it's actually very left-hand intensive, this game, because it's all keyboard, and my hand's cramping up a bit. So I'm just going to take a few minutes to just... Because you just have to... It's nothing intensive, but you just need to hold things down. You just need to hold things down a lot.
Makes sense. So 5 minute break, hydrate, do whatever you're gonna do.
Yeah.
Alright, I'll be right back too.
Cool. I'm just going to put myself on mute.
Hello. I don't know who all is around right now.
Okay, I'm back.
Welcome back.
Let's do this.
Oh, right.
Left.
Sorry, I just remembered that lamp turned on some light. Oh, whoa!
Friend obtained. And back up we go. Ooh, yellow butterflies.
Little butterflies.
My stream got switched to a Metroid speedrunning race and is a touch jarring.
That does sound disconcerting. Although apparently your stream decided that my comparison to Metroid it liked.
You might also like.
Do you like a female character with a tragic backstory that's never gone into in depth exploring a mysterious world? In that case, you might also like Metroid.
I mean, it's not wrong. Whoa, that launched you a lot higher than they usually do.
It didn't. It's just this is the bottom of a mirror, near the mirror.
Ah, oh right. And you don't lose momentum when you switch. It's just reversed.
Yeah. Well, gravity's reversed, so now gravity's pulling me along with the rest rather than down. Like, rather than... Damn it.
This is an interesting room.
Yeah.
And that was a, do you remember this mechanic?
Mm-hmm.
That leaf is from the other zone, not this one.
Yeah, it's stuff crosses over, and
Which makes sense. It's all building on each other.
Yeah.
And we're coming at the nebula from the other side now.
Yeah.
I will
You're
say...
traveling through this place. that exists in this light that you can bring with you, or awaken near you.
I'm predicting this ends with Gris accepting the bird / the eel
Yeah,
into herself. Like, that's my prediction.
yeah.
I think it's also a very good example of what Folding Ideas was talking about when he was saying how, like, sometimes the metaphorical is actually, like, the metaphorical is sometimes the literal. Like, what's literally happening here is, this whole adventure thing.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. Like the allegory is part of the text.
yeah.
It's not, this is a story that we are reading into the text, or this is applicable. This is, hi, welcome to this metaphor.
Yeah.
I will admit, whenever I say Gris, I do sometimes think I'm about to say Gris, the name of our friend. Grizzy.
Yeah. That makes sense.
I think that's where you came from, that water.
Yeah, you just came up from there.
Yeah. So what I'm trying to do is get up from here.
Oh, but you were doing the thing on the on the left that you've done on the right. Center.
Yep, journey to the center.
And once again, we are descending.
The world's turned back upside down, or perhaps it's finally right side up again.
Then I know I called this part 1 of the stream, but I think we're gonna finish this.
Yeah.
Yes, I think you are correct.
There are some flowers to sing to here.
Yes. Sorry, there was a slight stream delay, so, like, you said that just as I started singing to them.
Yeah.
Oh. I think... Here comes the darkness.
Gris has a lot more agency now at this point, or rather, she's recovered her agency. Remembered that she had it. And even now, with the addition of the light, the darkness is a lot more, hey, it's the lady. Yeah,
Yep.
It's a lot more defined now. It's not just stark white against stark black. And the darkness was always her. Always a part. So my question, oh no, we are still in the cutscene, because the other thing I would think is, can you sing now?
I can't. We're not on the cutscreen.
Oh, it's the broken bits of the statue from the beginning.
Hmm.
Are we falling or rising?
I
I'm
feel like the
facing
answer to
up.
that is yes.
Oh! And there's a body lying.
It's a mausoleum or a memorial.
Yeah.
And now we're climbing back to the place we started. And rebuilding.
And singing.
that seems a lot like making peace to me.
Yeah. I am very glad I played that.
Yeah.
I am very glad I picked it up.
Yeah.
Definitely.
It's one of those experiences where I'm coming out of it with a lot of thoughts about like the mechanics and the various metaphors, like the rising and the colours and the animation and all of this stuff, but I think like this game has caused the first proper emotional reaction I've had in the last 2 days, and I think that by itself, like, this game has managed to touch me through my depression. It's not just, I'm not just going, I know I should be touched here, so I'm going to continue acting like I would be. Like, this genuinely got through. And I think I don't think I can say anything else. I don't think I can give any other bit of praise that high.
Yeah, I think you're right. That says a lot.
Yeah. That it could find that it could convey that.
So I think it feels a bit redundant to say this after I've done a playthrough of it, but like, I would definitely say, as well as it's worth picking up for yourself, because I think there's a whole mechanical element and stuff that I think is very much in there as well. So I think it's definitely worth picking up, I think, is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah. I don't.
But that's not like an order. I'm not saying you have to.
Yeah. No, it has a different experience when it's you there. I just, I'm thinking about a much tinier game that I played that was on itch.io, where a kid got dragged out by their Oma to go pick mushrooms, and
Yeah.
There's something about being the person, like you were saying, that you were moving kind of based on instinct, and that feeling of being in the space, I think, is substantial.
And every one of us has a different concept. I like it. Feelings with regards to depression, grief, that sort of thing. So it's going to be a very different thing for each of us.
Yeah.
I do like the eye design in these concepts.
Yeah. Yeah.
There was a concept art for you hugging the block.
Oh, that's great.
Sorry, Packbat.
No, that is legitimately great. I just now I'm remembering like the oh, can you pet the dog thing?
Can you hug the
Hugging
block?
I feel like that has some of the same kind of feel of you getting to pet the block.
Yeah, I'm really liking the zoomed out views of the levels because there's a what's the word for it? A sort of context, like seeing the bigger picture that's hinted at through while you're playing.
Yeah. Right. I think I'm gonna exit and end the stream because I am tired but very satisfied.
Yeah.
Thank you for the stream.
I am,
And for letting us crash the stream.
Yeah.
I am gonna have this at some point. There will be a lot of things about Gris either on my blog because, wow, is there a lot to talk about?
Yeah.
Right then. Alright. Thanks, you two.
Bye bye.
Bye, everyone.